Good morning, football fans, sports fans. Sorry I didn't drop a video last week. Very busy. Wasn't able to get in front of a camera. I'm back this Sunday. Might start dropping earlier in the week, just to get more content out there. But I kind of want to recap Saturday, yesterday, college football. I watched a few games. Um, I'm also going to talk about the NFL today as well before they kick off at 1 o'clock. Some college football, though, I want to talk about LSU pulled it out against Auburn 23-20. Bo Nix had a decent game. Joe Burrow had a good game again. I think he threw over for 300 yards. They snuck out. They snuck it out. Kind of glad LSU won though, because it makes Florida's loss, still, kind of relevant. If they would have lost to Auburn, then it would have been a huge mix-up. But which that's huge. Penn State handled Michigan State. One game that surprised me were the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They lost to Michigan 45-14. I wasn't expecting it. Shea Patterson only threw for 100 yards. They really their running back Haskins on the ground. He really gashed on. I think he had like 150. Oregon, they beat Washington State by 2. 37-35. Verdale, Oregon's running back, had about 3 touchdowns. He had over 200. He had 257 to be exact. That's a big game. Texas, they got upset by TCU 37-27. Also a game that I thought would be an upset was another game I thought would be an upset was it the Oklahoma State. Chuba Hubbard had over 100 yards. I think he leads the nation in rushing. Tylan Wallace had a pretty good game, over 131 yards receiving, but they beat number 23 Iowa State, which I was never really huge on Iowa State because I don't get to watch a lot of their games, but I saw Oklahoma State. I know their running game is pretty legit. And Herm Edwards and the boys at Arizona State, they actually took a loss to the UCLA Bruins and Chip Kelly, which was a little surprising, but out there in the Pac-12, man, those guys, I think everybody knows how it is in the Pac-12. It's really up for grabs. They're really no dominant team. Like Utah, they won, so it could be, it's a really close race out there. Same with the SEC East. I think Georgia had a bye as well as Florida, so they played this coming week, which is a huge game. If Florida wins that, pretty sure they're in the driver's seat for the East. I'm pretty sure they win the East because Missouri actually lost to Kentucky last night, if I'm not mistaken. Last time I checked, it was 22-7. Clemson, they steamrolled Boston College, which I'm pretty sure everyone was expecting. Ohio State beat Wisconsin pretty bad. The Jonathan Taylor, I don't think they had him bottled up. J.K. Dobbins, man, he is. I don't know how his name isn't in for the Heisman because that every time I check it, man, he's over 100 yards, 150 yards, just doing his thing. And of course, Alabama beat Arkansas. They beat them by 41 points. SMU pulled it out against Houston earlier in the week as well, Thursday. Those are a few college games. Going into like the playoff, it's coming in November. They're going to release the playoff and the standings. I think it goes Alabama, LSU, and then Oklahoma lost. So Ohio State, Clemson, and I want to say, Florida has to jump into the top 5 after Oklahoma going down this week. Wisconsin last week, Florida jumped up to 7. And another top 5 team lost. So, they got to be 6-5 area. So, it's going to be very interesting to see what the committee does because everybody knows Clemson has a very weak schedule. And everybody knows Alabama and LSU still have to play in a couple weeks. So, it's gonna be very interesting to see how they rank teams, going forward because the season isn't over yet. Anybody can lose any week, like proven again this week. So we're gonna see about that. But I think it's like I said, Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, Florida. Then after that, whoever they like to put in there. Notre Dame's not in there anymore. Penn State's at 6, so they may jump up. But I don't. They're still gonna have to play the Big Ten championship. They're gonna have to face Ohio State. So with that one loss, that probably knocks them out. A one-loss SEC team probably gets in. If a one-loss Big Ten team, I don't think they'll get in. Then that's just from past experiences and just really being honest. I still think Jalen Hurts could probably win the Heisman. I mean, he threw for almost 400 yards against that, but it seemed like it was the Oklahoma defense. They couldn't stop Kansas State. They gave up 48 points. So it's like, man, really nobody's been tested. I say the same thing about Clemson. Like, they played Boston College, but they haven't really been tested. Somebody that could actually put up points against them and score with them. I would have said South Carolina maybe at the end of the year. Rivalry game, a lot at stake. But South Carolina coming off a really, really tough loss to the Tennessee Volunteers, man. I didn't get to watch it, but I think they're calling for a lot of staff members down there in Columbia to be gone, and they probably should be gone after you lose to Tennessee, after playing, beating Georgia, playing such a great game against Florida. It's just, there's probably changes that are going to have to be made. That's pretty simple. But that's a little bit of my take on college football. Maybe, the college football playoff coming out very soon. So we're going to see how that goes. I want to move over to NFL. I think it's week 8 in the NFL. I love the NFL. It's definitely fantasy. I'm not doing so great this year. 1-6 right now, but our league is very tight. I think I'm only like a 3 games back. There is one guy who's undefeated, 7-0, but after that is like everybody's like 4-3, 3-4. So it's a pretty competitive league, which it always is every year. But this year is like more competitive. Like, there's no waiver wire pickups, any of that. There's people out there, Robbie Anderson on the waivers, Duke Johnson, but nobody really that you're gonna put in your lineup unless you're in a really deep 12, 14, 16 team PPR. I mean, that's when you start, getting a little desperate picks. But I wanna say my picks and give a little intake on the games for the NFL. 1:00 games. We got a lot of 1:00 games today. Like 9 of them. Only about 3 4:00 games. But starting with the Seahawks Falcons, Julio Jones came out and said it's on them now. I mean, they are 1-6. Seahawks are playing really good. It's at Atlanta. I want to say the Falcons. Man, the Falcons really need this, but can their defense stop anybody? I have not seen it, and the defense really matters. If you can't stop anybody, man, Russell Wilson and the boys and company, Chris Carson, all of them, they're gonna score. They're gonna put up points. Russell Wilson's been great in fantasy this year. Been great as a quarterback this year in general. So I think I like the Seahawks in that one. I'm gonna pick the Seahawks. The Falcons really need that win, man. They go 1-7. Like, I don't think they even have a chance of winning their division anymore. Like, it's looking pretty bad. Moving on to the Broncos and the Colts. I like the Colts in this one. But, it is at the Colts, so it is in the Dome. I feel like if it was at Mile High, and the Broncos, they might have a better chance. Broncos defense is very good secondary. I don't know about Joe Flacco and the offense, how they're gonna produce points. Phillip Lindsay, Royce Freeman, they still got a little two-headed thing going on. I like those, but I think the Colts, man. I think the Colts defense, and I think Brissett. I think people are sleeping on Brissett. He's playing pretty good right now. So I think I want the Colts in that one. This next game, the Buccaneers against the Titans, it's a little tricky because you never know what you're going to get out of Jameis Winston. For the bye week, he threw 5 interceptions and also had a fumble against the Panthers. That's 6 turnovers. You'll never win. I don't think you'll ever win a game with that many turnovers. And if you do, hats off. But it depends on really how Jameis plays against that Tennessee defense, which is very stout. I don't think they've given up 100 yards to a receiver yet this season. So, the Buccaneers don't really have a run game with Barber and, Ronald Jones. So I want to say the Titans defense wins them this game. Winston, I think he just turns the ball over too much. But you never know because against the Rams, he threw for like 500 and beat the Rams in a shootout. But I don't think the Titans are going to let it get like that. It's just their defense is very stout, and I like it. The Cardinals and the Saints. The Cardinals are going to the Saints. They said Drew Brees will start this week. So anybody that had Teddy Bridgewater, go ahead and drop him back to the waiver wire because the Saints are going to win this game, I feel. Cardinals are playing very good. They're playing way better, than the beginning of the season. Defense actually stepping up, playing better. I just like the Saints. I mean, they've been winning without Drew Brees. So I think Kamara should be back, fully healthy. Drew Brees back. They're going to win the NFC. I think. I mean, they look great right now. They really do. And I got the Saints in that one. Bengals at the Rams. The Bengals are 0-7. I mean, they probably do need a win. This is probably not the week they're gonna get that win. I like the Rams. I like Jared Goff. See what Todd Gurley does. From a fantasy perspective, Joe Mixon from a fantasy perspective has been kind of poor, but I really just think it's the team he's on and the offensive line that he's had. Because I mean, it's the volume's kind of there, but it's just they're really bad. They're so bad. It's just like it's probably not even worth starting anybody. Maybe Tyler Boyd or Alden Tate, but I would just stay away from the Bengals right now, man. The Rams, though, I think they get back on track. People, kind of catching on to Todd McVay and the Rams. They're really zoning in on Gurley and making Jared Goff beat them with his arm, which sometimes he can do him, and sometimes he a little suspect at times as well. I like the Rams. Eagles at Bills. The Eagles really need a win. I think to get back to 500. But that man, after watching that Dallas game, they couldn't even really move the ball. And the Bills defense is very good, very stout. I like the Bills defense just to win them. Maybe a couple turnovers. I think it's gonna be a close game. But I like the Bills. Chargers at the Bears. Chargers have been struggling this year. Melvin Gordon, from a fantasy standpoint, has been non-existent basically. Austin Eckler's still the start. He's having a tremendous year. I think he's still a top 5, top 10 running back in fantasy PPR. But I think the Bears defense, I think they bear down a little bit. I think they get the win. Chargers, man, they just looking iffy. I think Keenan's questionable. So I like the Bears in that one. Giants and the Lions. Saquon's back. They're playing decent. The Lions, though, Matthew Stafford, they're playing like out of their mind. Marvin Jones coming off a 4-touchdown game. Matthew Stafford slinging the ball all over the place like we all know that he can do. I like the Lions in that one. I think they have a little more offense. They're at home. Giants defense really isn't, hitting on too much. The Jets and the Jags, this is to finish off the 1 o'clock games. I like the Jags. I think Gardner Minshew, DJ Chark, D.D. Westbrook, hopefully they get back on track. I mean, it is a very good Jets team who played pretty well against the Patriots. Held, Tom Brady to only like 11 fantasy points. So that's something to watch out for. But I think Fournette, I think he's a man. He's a real man. He can run that football. I like Fournette. I like the Jags defense a lot. They're very good. Even without Jalen Ramsey, they're still a great defense to stream as well. Panthers at 49ers. Panthers are 4-0 right now. Kyle Allen has been killing it. I think Cam Newton's back and healthy, but I don't think he's getting the start. So it's Kyle Allen. It's Kyle Allen's team right now. So you're gonna see what that brings. If Cam leaves, get traded, or whatever, or if he's there, as a good support system, back him up. But the 49ers, man, they're undefeated. Defense playing out of their mind right now. I think like the second or first defense right now in all of the league. I want to say the Panthers, man, get that one. But going to San Fran, man, can Jimmy Garoppolo, he's got like 7, 8 touchdowns and like 6 interceptions. Can Jimmy Garoppolo throw the ball against the Panthers? Because their front 7 is pretty good. KK Short, Brian Burns, Luke Kuechly, obviously. I think their weakness is in the secondary for the Panthers. But Garoppolo hasn't really been just scorching people with his arm. He's throwing a couple picks, like I said. But the Niners defense is playing great. You're going to see with that two-headed, Breida, Tevin Coleman type deal. I want to say the Panthers in this one, man. Give the 49ers their first loss. Can Jimmy Garoppolo beat them with his arm? Because we haven't really seen it, man. The defense has been saving them. They might save him again, but they're going to get McCaffrey, his touches, and everything. So I'm going to say Panthers in that one. Raiders at the Texans. The Raiders are really they're playing good this year. I don't think people expected them. AB left. Khalil Matt left a couple years ago. They didn't. John Gruden hire. Everybody's like they're paying them too much. This and that. But they're winning games. I think they're 3-4. I think the Texans are 4-3. The Texans have been playing better. Offensive line been playing a little bit better off. But you still got to keep that Raiders defense off of Deshaun Watson. But Deshaun he's a special, very special cat, very special quarterback. I think he has gonna be in the league for a while. I like the Texans in this one, but don't sleep on the Raiders, man. And from a fantasy perspective, Deshaun, he's obviously a start. Nuke, Carlos Hyde, maybe he gets a touchdown this week. The Raiders, Josh Jacobs, he was questionable with a sore shoulder. I think he's going. I think he said it would have to be broke for him not to play. So I have him on my fantasy team. Josh Jacobs, he's getting the volumes there, carries are there. Just get him, some more goal line touches, some more touchdowns when they get into the red zone. Browns, Patriots at 425. I think the Browns are going to play them hard. They might even give the Patriots their first loss, but man, the Patriots, even Tom Brady, like I said last week, 11 fantasy points, and they still win by 30 plus points. So it's not just the offense. Their defense is they're the number one defense. That's who the 49ers are behind. I don't even know how I missed that. But yeah, the New England Patriots defense will most likely win them this game against Baker Mayfield. Throw a lot of blitzes, confuse them. He's already thrown I think leading. I think it's almost double digits, and that's not good going against this Patriots defense right now. It's just Odell. He's still their number one receiver. So you probably unless you have a better option on your bench, he's more than likely the start you're gonna have. But Patriots, you can Tom Brady. They got Mohamed Sanu, who I think is gonna be great for that team. James White out of the backfield, Sony Michel. If Burkhead's coming back, they got weapons everywhere. That the Myers kid at receiver. So I just like the Patriots, man. Their defense is playing out of their mind. Usually the defense is a little iffy. Their defense is playing great this year. The 8:20 game tonight, it's the Packers at the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is not playing. So I want to go off the top and say Packers are going to win this game. That's just my opinion. I think the Packers are going to win. Unless Matt Moore just comes out and has the night of his life. I think the Packers are going to win. The Packers defense is pretty good. They've transitioned this year. They're good pass rush, making turnovers, and the Packers I think they're getting in their stride. Even without Devontae Adams, I still think the Packers are gonna put up points. They got Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones. They still got Valdez Scantling, Jimmy Graham, Geronimo Allison. So Aaron Rodgers threw for 6 touchdowns against Oakland last week, or he threw for 5 and ran 1. So I think I like the Packers. They're really starting to hit their stride, and the defense is playing well with them as well. I like the Packers. Chiefs, man. I'm starting Kelsey in my fantasy league. You probably start Tyreek Hill. You just don't know what you're going to get out of Matt Moore because, I think it's his first start. So, but we'll see. I still think he should be able to hit his checkdowns, hit his tight ends, hit Tyreek Hill deep. That system, Andy Reid, he'll get him, he'll get him acclimated and he'll get him settled in, hopefully. And maybe it'll be a great 8-20 game tonight because I'm looking forward to that game. And on Monday, we have the defeated Dolphins against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going Steelers in this game. Coming off a bye week, Dolphins still haven't got a win. Steelers defense is playing great. I actually picked them up in the waiver wire this week. I think I'm going to start them against the Dolphins just because the matchup, man. I think the Steelers are going to, I ain't going to say handle them, but I think the Steelers defense is going to play pretty good, have a pretty high projection. I like the Steelers. Dolphins, they're not really hitting on anything. Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of gave them a little light last week against the Bills. They were up. They were playing good. So, they got to take that into accountability. Who do y'all think I should start? The Bills, though, against struggling Eagles? Or the Steelers against the 0-7 Dolphins? I'm thinking Steelers. But, man, the Bills, I don't know how you don't start them because they are a really stout defense and really good, creating turnovers. Carson Wentz isn't playing his best right now. So, but let me know. Let me know what y'all think about the picks. Let me know if there's anything y'all think I should go over or I missed. College football or NFL. Just let me know. You can leave a comment. You can get at me on Twitter at Taterchip, TayturChip. You can get at me on Instagram at ARTAVIOUS .Sterling. Let me know. Let me know if y'all think I should do a certain segment, or let me know any feedback, advice. But those are my picks. That's a little bit of recap of college football. Those are my picks for the NFL today. Hope y'all have a great Sunday. And I hope y'all enjoy the podcast. Tune in next week again. I'll be back. Have a good one.